Warning: the following review will be about Teen Titans Go. Therefore, I will probably be shitting on it and purposely nitpicking. If you don't like that, then don't watch the video. You're watching Cartoon Obsession. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan, and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. I know I said that I wouldn't be making any more videos relating to Teen Titans Go for the foreseeable future, but seeing as how Cartoon Network decided to air the movie Teen Titans Go vs. Teen Titans this past week, and I hadn't seen it before, even though I was actually interested in doing so, I decided to talk about the movie in today's video. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but I'm throwing in a spoiler warning just in case. Now that I got all that out of the way, let's get into my movie review of Teen Titans Go vs. Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go vs. Teen Titans is a crossover movie between two DC Universe animated series, and I'm sure you don't need me to tell you what those two shows are. The movie was shown at San Diego Comic-Con on July 21st, 2019, was released digitally on September 24th, 2019, was released physically on October 15th, 2019, and finally aired on Cartoon Network on February 17th, 2020. I'll get this out of the way right now. If you've seen any of my Teen Titans Go videos, which by the way tend to be my most popular videos, you would know that I'm not exactly a fan of the series. In fact, in the early days of Cartoon Obsession, I had a goal of reviewing every single episode of Teen Titans Go, with the intention of pointing out all of the flaws I could find in them, and just trashing them in general. I stopped doing that for a number of reasons. I didn't want to be known for just making Teen Titans Go videos. I didn't want to oversaturate the channel with just one type of video in general. I wanted to talk about a variety of things in a variety of ways. Not to mention, I started making Teen Titans Go videos 2 years into the show's run, so I was already pretty far behind, and catching up with all the episodes, especially since the show is still going on, is ultimately unrealistic. And the biggest reason is the fact that hating Teen Titans Go is a dead meme at this point. The show's been on the air for going on 7 years now, ratings are not at all what they used to be, and I can't even say I hate the show anymore. I don't like it, outside of a few episodes, but I got to the point where I just don't care about Teen Titans Go. That being said, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I knew it was going to be something that I wanted to see. I wasn't excited for the movie, but I was intrigued by the trailer. Of course, I'll get into my thoughts on the movie in a bit, but first, let's take a look at the plot. The Titans from the Teen Titans Go universe go through their usual antics fighting bad guys and whatnot, and during a fight with the Gentleman Ghost, Raven's gem cracks, which means her demon is coming loose. Her father, Trigon, is set on taking Raven's powers and using them to take over the world. Raven says that she's not going to give Trigon her powers and she just won't use them. Shortly after, the Titans are abducted by the Master of Games, not to be confused with the character of the same name from the Teen Titans episode Winner Take All, who is exploring the Infinite Earths to find the best versions of superheroes. Then the Titans face off against none other than the original Teen Titans. I'll talk a little bit about the actual fight later, but after the fight, it's revealed that it was a trap set by the Trigons from both universes to abduct the Ravens in a plan to absorb Go Raven's powers so he can take over the world. And of course, this means the two teams of Teen Titans, say that 5 times fast, have to work together to defeat the Trigons and save the Ravens. I should have said this before, but if any of this gets confusing, I'm sorry. That's what happens when almost all the characters have the same names. Speaking of the characters, I don't think I really have to describe the characters here. If you're watching this video, I assume you know who the Teen Titans are, and the secondary characters don't really offer enough to the movie for me to have to describe them. Also, if you're not familiar with the Teen Titans Go versions of the characters, they're just more obnoxious and immature versions of the Titans who are very aware that they're hated by people, by the way. They go out of their way to tell you that a lot, not just in the movie, but in the show as well. But that's not what you guys want to hear me talk about. You want to hear what I actually thought about this movie. I'll start by talking about the art styles and animation. It looks exactly the same as it does in the show, at least on the Teen Titans Go side. As for the original Teen Titans, they tried their hardest to make them look as similar as possible, and upon first glance you might not even notice a difference, but believe me, there is a difference, especially if you look at characters like Cyborg and Raven. Not to mention, you can tell the animation is cheaper than it was in the original Teen Titans series. They use flash animation for these characters and it stands out. I'm not saying that's really a negative, I get it, they only had so much money to work on with this movie and they might have had to cut a few corners. It is what it is, it's just something I noticed. I will say though, when they start introducing more and more versions of the Titans, I like the diversity of the art styles they use, even if you only see them for a short time. The voice acting is solid as well. Of course, for the most part, you hear the same 6 voices between 12 characters, and the voice actors don't really differentiate between the 2 versions of their characters, at least with the voices. You'll be able to tell the difference between them because of their distinct speech patterns. Well, for the most part anyway, but I'll touch on that a little more later on. There are a few more voice actors that fill the roles of the minor characters, and they're all solid enough. I will say though, I feel like Weird Al Yankovic was underutilized in his 2 roles, but I'm just glad he's there to be honest. Now let's talk about the humor in the movie. For the most part, I think it comes off as forced. It feels like they're constantly beating a dead horse when it comes to jokes, not just jokes strictly within the movie, but also jokes and running gags that carry over from the show. Not only do they repeat themselves with these jokes and gags, but most of them drag on for so long. That's a problem I have with Teen Titans Go in general, but it continues to be a problem here. They're even self-aware that they're just doing it to fill up time, which has the potential to be funny, but when the joke in question isn't funny to begin with, it just comes off as being obnoxious.
Oh, why did we just do that? To pad out, what?
Screen time. You're welcome.
I get all this stuff might be for satirical purposes, but even then, I just don't find it all that funny. I snickered at a few things in the movie, but I never full-on laughed at any of the jokes. Not to mention, they don't make a lot of references that fans of the original Teen Titans will get. 1 or 2 maybe, but for the most part, the show that's referenced is Teen Titans Go. In general, you can tell that's the show that takes the forefront in this film. As for the action, it's serviceable. The fights look alright, especially the last one, but as a whole, they don't do a whole lot for me. For example, there is a secondary fight in the movie that feels like it serves no purpose to me. I get the reason why they're fighting, but I just don't understand the actual conflict between the characters. Maybe there's some backstory that I missed in the show, but either way, it just felt kind of shoehorned in to me. I did say I would talk a little bit about the fight between the Titans, so here it is. It's about how I expected it to be. I don't want to say it's an evenly matched fight in the traditional sense, but I didn't think they'd have the original Titans get a clean sweep victory anyway. After all, you can tell just from the plot alone that that wasn't even going to be the main fight in the movie, just the main selling point. Speaking of the plot, I found the story to be very predictable. I was able to guess a lot of scenes and a lot of jokes correctly. Now, while predictable doesn't always mean bad, I felt like that level of predictability took me out of the film. It hindered my enjoyment of it quite a bit. And now for the thing I was most concerned with when I first learned about this movie, the handling of the characters, specifically the original Teen Titans. I was worried that they were going to make the original Titans look like complete idiots and have the Go versions take the piss out of them, and while the originals took the piss out of the Go versions a bit, I still felt like they were treated as second best. Now, did they make them look like complete idiots? Well, maybe not complete idiots, but they certainly made them look foolish more often than I would have hoped. For example, the original Starfire acts just as ditzy as the Teen Titans Go Starfire does here, and I can't stand that.
How much of the Earth food do you consume? As much as will fit in my 9 stomachs. I am the same!
Also, I feel as though they slightly misrepresent the original Titans in this movie. What I mean by that is that they're portrayed as being super serious and that they don't have fun, which is only partially true. Again, I'm sure all of this was meant to be satire, but again, if the joke in question isn't funny, that doesn't help anything. Maybe I'm just taking it too seriously, but this is just all my opinion. Anyway, as a whole, I really wasn't a fan of Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. There weren't a lot of moments where I was interested in what was going to happen next, and at times this movie was honestly a chore to sit through. But you know what the worst part about it is? I really wanted to like this movie. I went into it with an open mind and I was hoping for the best, but unfortunately I just couldn't get behind it. It was actually a bit of a disappointment. I wouldn't say I hate it, but I definitely don't like it. However, I don't think watching it was a mistake. I was curious about this movie, and now that I've seen it, I no longer have to wonder how it is. Overall, I give Teen Titans Go vs. Teen Titans a 50 out of 100. At its best, it's mediocre. I don't think this movie is abysmal, and I think there are things in it that fans of either show or both shows can enjoy. For me personally though, it just wasn't doing much.
Cyborg Cycle, activate Alpha Maneuver 42 Delta. That means let's make a portal. You have to agree on codes ahead of time. Did you think we were just yelling random gibberish in battle? I guess I did think that, yes.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have any other cartoons, anime, or other animated works that you want me to talk about in the future, please let me know. After all, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to check out my social media pages, audition for an outro, and join the official Cartoon Obsession Discord. The links for all of which are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Hiya Puddins, Harley Quinn here, and thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession.